So Louise, here's a short yoga session for you to do on your own when you get the chance. So we're going to start out sitting down, and you can grab a pillow or a book or something to sit on. The goal is that you want your hips to be a little bit higher than your knees. So find your comfortable seat, let your eyes close, rest your hands down onto your legs. Feel your sitting bones underneath you. And just turn your focus to your breath. Feeling that natural buoyancy on the inhale and a sense of dropping down to the ground on the exhale. Start to lengthen your breaths a little bit here, taking more time to fill your lungs on the inhale and lingering all the way until you're empty on the exhale. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower your chin towards your chest, and then drop your right ear over towards your right shoulder, and just continue around in a circle. Just moving smoothly here. And noticing if your breath changed, seeing if you can come back to that long, even breath. And at the bottom of your next time around, go ahead and switch directions, left ear towards left shoulder. And take one more time around. From here, go ahead and bring your head back to neutral. Exhale everything out. And on your inhale, lift your shoulders up. And exhale, roll them down the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. One more like that. Inhale. And exhale, down. On your inhale, reach both arms up. Interlace your hands. Press the palms of your hands up to the sky. Stay here for a breath. See if you can soften your shoulders away from your ears. And go ahead and release your hands back down. So you can set your pillow or your book aside if you were using one. I'm going to come into that toes pose that we did the last time that we worked together. So that's the one where you tuck your toes and come back to sit on your heels. And the toes don't have to be touching, they can be a little bit separate. And see if you can let your weight drop down into your heels here, staying with that full breath. And we're going to do a few wrist openers. So you're going to extend your right arm straight forward, make a light fist, and just gently draw the knuckles in towards you. And go ahead and release, and then draw the open hand back towards you. And you're totally in control of this stretch. You only go as far as it feels good. And go ahead and release, and coming to the other side, make a light fist, draw the knuckles in towards you. And release, open the hand, and draw the fingers back towards you. And go ahead and release. Just make a few circles with your wrists here. And then we're going to give those toes a break. So come forward. And we're going to come down into child's pose. So let your knees separate and lower your chest down towards the mat. Stretch your fingertips forward. Let your hips sink back towards your heels. And then walk your hands back towards your knees. You're just going to bring your hands along the sides of your hips. Take an exhale here. And on your inhale, lift your gaze to the sky. And exhale, coming back to neutral. So we're going to come up to stand. We're going to move through a few rounds of our sun breaths. So arms at your sides. Find your mountain pose with your toes lined up. Exhale everything out. On your inhale, circle the arms up, maybe lift your gaze. And exhale, bring them back down and bring your hands together in front of your heart. Inhale, lift as you lengthen up. And exhale, folding forward, feeling free to bend your knees when you need to. Inhale, lift halfway, lift the gaze. And exhale, fold forward, soften the neck. Inhale, circle all the way up. And exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, lift. And exhale, folding forward. Release the neck. Inhale, hands to the shins, broad through the chest. And exhale, fold. Inhale, back up. And exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, circle. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift, draw your shoulder blades together. And exhale, lengthen through the spine all the way through the neck. Inhale up. Exhale, hands together. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale brings you halfway up. Exhale, release. One last time. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, reach. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, release. Inhale up. And exhale, bring your hands to your sides. You're going to separate your feet about hips distance apart, keeping the toes lined up. Take an exhale here. And on your inhale, reach that right arm up to the sky. And exhale, lower it across. Inhale, left arm lifts. And exhale down. Inhale, right. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more each side. And exhale back down. Go ahead and walk your feet a little bit closer together. You're going to reach your arms straight in front of you and then sink your hips down and back for chair pose. So seeing if you can keep your chest open here, maybe lifting your gaze a little bit and feeling free to play a little bit with the shoulder placement, finding what feels good to you. One more full breath. And go ahead and come up to stand. So you're going to come up to the top of your mat or just a space where you have room behind you. Bring your hands to your hips, feet about hips distance apart. And you're going to step your left leg back. So we're coming into that high lunge. The back heel stays lifted. Maybe you reach your arms up. The front knee's right on top of the heel, letting your weight drop down into the heel. And keeping that back leg engaged by pressing your back heel towards the wall behind you. One more deep breath. And go ahead and release your arms. We're going to turn to the side and set up for warrior two. So right toes turn to the top of the mat, back toes in on the diagonal. Bend that front knee and extend your arms out to the sides. Find your breath here. Filling the ribs with each inhale. Stretching out through the fingertips. Stay committed to that bend in the front knee. One more breath. And we're going to straighten that front leg. You're going to reach like you're going to touch the side wall. And since we don't have a block, you're going to bring your hand just down to your shin here for triangle pose. So lightly resting the hand on the shin. Reaching up with that top arm. You don't have to gaze at the top hand if that's too much on the neck. You can look straight forward or down at that front leg. Finding length through both sides of the waist. One more breath. On your next inhale, reach up through that top hand, come back to stand, and go ahead and relax your arms. We're going to turn to face this side, and you're going to make your toes wider than your heels. Go ahead and bend your knees, rest your hands on the tops of your thighs. Take an inhale here. And on your exhale, lower your right shoulder down and gaze to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, left shoulder down, gaze right. Inhale, back to the middle. Exhale, right shoulder shrugs down. One more. Exhale, left shoulder down. And inhale, come back to the center. Go ahead and come up to stand and just walk your feet back together. You can stand with the feet about hips distance apart. Take an exhale here. And on your inhale, reach that left arm up to the sky. And exhale, drop it across. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, left arm reaches. Exhale, down. Inhale, right hand. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale it across. Last time, inhale, lift for the sky. And exhale across. You can step your feet a little bit closer together. Reach the arms straight forward. And sink your hips down and back like you're about to sit down. Finding your breath here, letting your weight drop down into your heels. You can stay right here. Maybe lift your arms a little higher this time, seeing if you can lift the arms while the shoulders stay down. One more full breath. And coming up to stand. So we're going to step back into that high lunge on the other side. So bring your hands to your hips, and this time your right leg is going to step to the back. So find a nice wide stance here. Bend that front knee. Back heel stays lifted. Maybe reaching the arms up, stretching up through the fingertips, but allowing the shoulders to stay soft. Letting your weight drop down into that front heel. 2 more full breaths here in crescent pose. And go ahead and relax your arms. We're going to turn back to the side and we're going to set up for warrior 2 on the other foot. So this time left foot turns towards the top of the mat, back foot turns in on a diagonal. Bend that front knee and extend your arms. See if you can center your weight in between the front and the back leg. Stretching out through the fingertips. Filling the entire shape with your breath. One more breath here. And straightening that front leg. Reach your front arm forward. Bring your hand down to your shin. Top arm reaches for the sky as I square my shoulders towards the side wall. Remember, you can choose your neck position here. You can look straight ahead. You can gaze down at the mat. One more breath. Let your next inhale draw you back up to stand and relax the arms. We're going to make your toes wider than your heels again. Go ahead and bend your knees, hands on top of the thighs. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, drop that left shoulder down. Inhale through the center. Exhale, right shoulder down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And go ahead and come back to the center. So we're going to line up the tips of your toes coming into a wide-legged forward fold. If you want to here, you can grab your pillow or a couple of books or something if you want to bring the floor a little closer to you. Let's go ahead and take an exhale here. Inhale, circle the arms up. And on your exhale, folding forward, seeing if you can keep your back flat here. You can gaze down towards the floor. Remember, you can bend your knees if that feels better, or keep them straight if it feels nice to stretch the hamstrings. Finding your breath here. Two more breaths. Go ahead and bring a bend into your knees and roll up to stand. Let your arms be limp. Your gaze is the last thing to lift. And go ahead and step the feet together. So we're going to practice our tree pose, a little bit of balancing here. So you're going to let the weight drop into your left foot, and you're going to pick up that right foot. You can bring it to the ankle if you want to keep your toes on the mat, or you can come up onto the calf. Maybe you bring your hands back to prayer pose, picking a single focus point. And then filling the front and the back side of your body with those breaths. And go ahead and release. You can shake your feet out a little bit. And when you're ready, coming onto the other side, weight drops down into that right foot. Left foot can come to the ankle. If you're feeling steady, up onto the calf. And then maybe the hands come together. And And notice if you're holding extra tension anywhere that's not beneficial, if you're gripping the jaw, maybe squeezing the toes. See if you can figure out which parts of you need to be activated, engaged here, and which parts can release. And go ahead and release, shake out the feet. Take an exhale here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, reach. And exhale, fold forward. This time go ahead and bend your knees, and you're just going to come down onto your fingertips and your knees. We're going to sink down into child's pose again, so sinking your hips towards your heels and lowering your chest towards the mat. Let yourself get heavy here and sink down into the floor. And then walk your hands in towards your knees, coming up to sit on the heels. Bring your hands to the sides of your hips. Take an exhale. And on your inhale, lengthen as you lift your gaze. And exhale back down. We're going to bring your legs around to the front. You're going to extend your right leg out and bring your left leg in towards you. And take a moment here, see if you can get right up on top of both sitting bones. And see if you can find the place where you still have that curve in your lower back rather than rounding in like a C. So sitting up on both sitting bones, take an exhale here. Inhale. And on your exhale, turn towards that bent knee. You can bring your hand around. The other hand can come behind you and help you lengthen up a little bit here. Using your inhale to get tall. And the exhale to come a little more deeply into the twist. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale into the twist. Let the inhale bring you back to the center. And we're going to turn to face that outstretched leg. So we're going to come into a hamstring stretch here. So just listen to your body. If sitting upright feels like a good stretch, just stay right here and find a nice deep breath. If you feel like you can go a little further, starting to crawl forward a little bit, but staying where you can still breathe comfortably and finding a nice position for the neck. And go ahead and release. We're going to switch legs. Again, find that place on top of your sitting bones with the natural curve in the lower spine. Exhale here. Inhale. And on your exhale, twist towards that bent knee. Getting taller on the inhale. And twisting through the ribs on the exhale. And the neck doesn't have to follow the movement as far. If that feels a little scary, you can just let that movement happen through the ribs. One more breath. Let an inhale bring you back to the center. And we're going to turn to face the outstretched leg. So finding your hamstring stretch here, it might be totally different than it was on the other side. Maybe you want to sit upright. Maybe you can come down a little closer towards the leg. But finding those smooth, calm breaths. release, coming back up. I'm going to come into cobbler's pose. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet to touch. And if it feels hard to sit up straight here, again, you can grab your pillow or a book and get yourself up a little bit higher. See if you can soften your knees down towards the ground. Use an inhale to get tall. And on the exhale, just leaning forward. You can let your elbows rest onto your thighs. Finding the breath. And release. Go ahead and bring your knees together. And we're going to come to lay on our back. So feet on the ground, lowering down onto your back. And we're going to come into our hip stretch. So just relax your arms at your sides. And you're going to extend that right leg up, flex the toes, cross your ankle over to the left knee. Reach your right hand in between your legs, and then draw both legs in towards you. Let your shoulders be soft here. Allow the strength of your biceps to draw the legs in closer. And take some long, smooth breaths. Go ahead and release, uncross the legs. Extend the left leg up this time, flex the toes. Bend the knee and cross your ankle over to the right knee. Left hand reaches through, draw both legs in towards you. Shoulders soft. Go ahead and release, uncross the legs. You can take a moment here with the knees still bent. Letting your weight drop into the mat. Let your shoulders get soft and sink into the ground. Feel that connection at the base of your spine where the earth supports you. And when you're ready, moving into Shavasana, extending the legs forward and letting the toes roll out to the sides. You can let the palms face up towards the sky, softening around the eyes, releasing the jaw, and witnessing the movement of your breath. So stay here for at least a few moments, and I'll leave you here. So if you have more time, you can linger as long as you want.